So, class, welcome to the next lecture of the course, Power Station Practice. So far, I think I have taken 7 or 8 classes, and we have discussed about this thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, and hydropower plant. We have discussed about the main equipments, equipments that are used in these plants, the principle of operation, the schematic diagram, advantages as well as disadvantages. Moreover, site selection in case of a hydro and nuclear power plant. Now next, let us move further with this same unit, that is unit number 1. So let us start with something that is called as load curve. Load curve. Okay, what is a load curve? Load curve simply gives us the variation of the load with respect to time. Okay, it gives us variation of load or power demand with respect to time. Okay, so means the load the load varies or demand varies with respect to time, because you know that the power demand or load, it is not in the control of the company, it is not under the control of the company which is supplying power. Okay, something's wrong with the video quality. Again, same problem I'm encountering again and again. Show the power video quality. Let me adjust my camera. Nothing. Okay, here I am saying that load curve means it is a curve between the load and time. Okay, and you know that continuously throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the year, the load keeps on changing. Okay, suppose maybe we have some different load on Monday and some different load on Thursday, and moreover, if we will talk about Monday, a particular day in a week, we will talk about a Monday. The load will continuously change in Monday. Means it is not that the load will remain constant throughout the day, it will keep on changing. So it is called variation of load with respect to time, and the curve between the load and the time, it is called as the load curve. Okay, so I'm saying we have on y-axis we have load, okay, and on x-axis we have time. So this load, I am saying load is continuously, load or power demand, it is continuously varying because it is controlled by the consumers. Suppose I am a consumer. Suppose right now it is cold in the morning. So what I will do, I will turn on my blower or air conditioner or anything, any heating equipment. Okay. So if at 2 o'clock I will see, means okay, it is a bright sunny day. Okay, so what I will do, I will see that the temperature is fine now. I will turn off my blower or AC. Okay, and I'm saying the load consumption will decrease. Okay, so I'm saying this load, it is under the control of the consumer. Okay, means utility or company which is providing, company, oftenly we say that utility it cannot control load, it cannot control load. Okay, and load is controlled by consumer. Okay, what is the company which is supplying power in Kashmir? It is, or usually it is called Kashmir Power Development Corporation, and in Jammu it is called Jammu Power Development Corporation. Okay, so I am saying variation of load with respect to time. Okay, depending upon the duration of the time, whether we are drawing the load with respect to time for 24 hours, then it is called daily load curve. It is if we are drawing the load with respect to this days in a month, then it is called as monthly load curve. And if we are drawing a load with respect to days in a year, it is called yearly load curve. So I am saying depending upon the duration of time, depending upon the duration of time, okay, I can say that load curve, comma load curves are categorized as number one, daily load curve. What do you mean by daily load curve? Suppose I am taking load here and time here. This is time. So I am starting from 0 hours to 2400 hours. मीन्स रात के 12 बजे से लेके अगले रात के 12 बजे तक 24 घंटे हो गए. So we have 24 hours from 0 hours to 24 hours, and here we have a load. So this type of load curve is called as daily load curve. So this is time in hours. Okay, then comes the monthly load curve. Monthly load curve. Okay, so monthly load curve, I will say it is like this. So suppose this is January 2022. Suppose I am measuring it from 1st January, 1st 1/1/22, and I am measuring it up to 31st 1/22. So it is 31 days of January. Okay, so the load, and here I am drawing load. So I will draw load will be like this. Okay, so this type of load curve it is called as, means these are 30 days. From here to here I have 30. This is 1 month. 1 month, that is Jan 2022. So this type of load curve is called as monthly load curve. Then I have the third category, which is called yearly load curve. Yearly load curve. So what is the yearly load curve? Again, we are drawing the load, and here for 1 hour. Suppose I am saying that suppose I am saying this is 1st January, 1st Jan 2022, and here I have 31st December 2022. So here I have load. Okay, so I am measuring this load from 1st January to 31st December 2022. So this is the load curve for 1 year. So this is called as yearly load curve. Yearly load curve. Okay, it's called as yearly load curve. So next, so you got what is load curve? Variation of load with respect to time, or you can simply a graph of load with respect to time. Depending upon the duration of time, you have monthly load, daily load curve, monthly load curve, and yearly load curve. Okay, clear? So if I have a load curve, why is load curve important? So I will tell you. Suppose that I have a load like this. I have a load like this. So here I have hours, here I have power. Okay. So let me draw a load like this. Okay, so this is my, like it is like this. Take it like this. Okay, then it will again go like this. Is the load curve visible to all? Okay, so where is the peak of the load? Okay, this is time. At what time the peak reaches to its load reaches to its peak value? If you will see, where is the peak on this curve? Peak is here. Okay, so this is my peak. Got it? So I'm saying this peak is, suppose here I'm saying it is X megawatt. Okay, and what was the minimum load on the system? It was here, here, and here. Okay, so I will draw it like this. Okay, so this is, I'm taking, suppose this is 1 day. 1 day is completed here. Here 1 day is completed. Okay, I'm saying this was a minimum load, and I'm saying this was, suppose I'm saying and this minimum load, it remains on the system throughout. Okay, so I will say this is base load. I'll say this is peak load. Okay, so I will have some intermediate loads. If the capacity, if I am taking the capacity as very long, means very big. Suppose I am saying that this peak load is, suppose I say 6000 megawatt, and this base load it is 2000 megawatt. Okay, so in between 6000 megawatt and 2000, this is 2000 megawatt and this is 6000 megawatt. So you can say this is, then this remains 4000 megawatt, and this 4000 megawatt it cannot be supplied by one plant. So you need some more plants, because 4000 megawatt is a big number. So what I will do is, I'm saying this is a peak, so I will divide it here like this. Okay, so I will say this is my intermediate load. This is my intermediate load. Okay, so if you will say what is the peak load period starts from here to here for this much time. Okay, for this much time we say this is peak load period, when the load on the system was maximum during this period. So peak occurs for a very small duration of time, but this period we will say peak load period, because this much power will be supplied by peak load plants. This is peak load period. Peak load period. And what are these? This period, what is this period? This and this, these are off load period. Off peak load period or off load period. Okay, off load period. Got it? So what I am doing here, I am basically dividing the time axis into two periods. Here one period is peak load and the other two periods they are off peak load period or off load period. So what I am doing, using this load curve, what is the importance of the load curve? By using the load curve I am dividing the time axis into, time axis, or I can say time axis can be divided into, number one, peak load period, and number two, off load period. Okay. So once you have divided the system load curve like this, so what you will do, then you will decide, okay, for peak load period which units are to be turned on, and for the base load period which units are to be kept on all the time, and for the peak load period which units are to be turned on. Okay, and which units are to be turned on for the intermediate load as well. Okay, so this was the load curve. So let us see what is load duration curve. These curves are very important. Please don't mix these load curve and load duration curve. Like I told you, when you are studying this this hydropower plant, there I told you about the flow duration curve. So we have load duration curve. So what is basically load duration curve? It is basically, I can say it is same as the load curve, because it gives the variation of load with respect to time. But the only difference is here is that here we demand, say we, in case of a load curve, we draw the load with respect to time. Okay, here again we will draw the load with respect to time, but the only difference is that the demand data is arranged or organized in the decreasing order of magnitude. Okay, suppose what we do, same curve I will draw here, load duration curve. Okay, so this is my load, this is time. This is time, this is my load. Okay, so I will say, when was the peak load? Peak load was X megawatt. Okay, what was the peak load? Peak load was X megawatt, and it occurs only for a very small period of time. So I will say X megawatt at the starting. This is the maximum. Okay, and this is, suppose I am taking time axis as this. And what was the base load? Base load was, suppose here I am saying it is Y megawatt. And suppose I am saying here it is base load was, this is X, this is base load Y. Okay, and I am saying the load will change. Let me draw these dotted lines first. I am saying that the load in case of a load duration curve, the demand data or load data is arranged in the decreasing order of the magnitude. Okay, means when was the starting from the maximum demand, to the minimum demand. Okay, and this minimum means this much load will remain on the system. This load will remain on the system always. Okay, because the load on the system can never be equal to 0. Okay, so you can say, if in this figure, what was the maximum load in the figure? It was x, so it was occurring somewhere in the middle. Okay, but here we are saying that for some time, at time we are taking for very small amount of time, the maximum load was x megawatt. Okay, and then as a time then we say then peak occurs only once in the system. So this is a peak, and then the loads start decreasing on either side of the peak. So then we are saying decreasing megawatt in the descending order. Okay, so in this figure we say maximum load in figure A was, suppose I'm saying this is figure A, maximum load in figure A was x units, so it is x unit. Okay, so this load, this was base load plant. Suppose I'm saying this was base load plant, this was intermediate load. Okay, and this was supplied by peak load plant. Got it? So next, now tell me one thing. If suppose this peak load, I'm saying that, suppose I'm saying this is my monthly load curve, considering this to be my monthly load curve, and I'm saying suppose that this peak occurs only for, suppose 30 minutes in a month. This peak load, it occurs only for it means in it go reaches to its peak value only for 30 minutes. Okay, so still for 30 minutes the company which is supplying power, it has to supply this 30 this peak load for 30 minutes in a month. Okay, so I am saying even if the peak occurs for a short, very short duration of time, it is the it is an obligation, it is an obligation by law. ठीक है ना, means by law it is an obligation to the supplier to meet this load. Okay, whenever asked. Okay, because we cannot say that, okay, here we are saying we have power cuts, we don't care about those things. But if you will go to some developed countries, if there is some power outage, okay, and the supplier is not able to means supply the load which has been demanded by the consumer, then the supplier means it is I will say it will be a violation of contract, and the consumer may go for the this legal compensation. Okay, and this legal compensation can be in lakhs of dollars. Okay, so that is why it has been made mandatory that even if this load occurs, peak load occurs for a very short duration, it is an obligation of the supplier to maintain this load, to supply this load whenever this load occurs. Okay, so tell me so we cannot ignore this peak load, we have to supply this peak load, it is by law we have to supply it. So what is the motive here? So the motive is that thus the capacity of the power plant, the power plant that is designed to supply this peak load, the capacity should be such that it should be able to supply this peak load. ओके, मीन्स इतनी कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए हमारे प्लांट की कि उस पीक लोड को सप्लाई कर सके. तो इसलिए मैं दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग कि द कैपेसिटी ऑफ द पावर प्लांट इट इज गाइडेड बाय द पीक लोड. ओके, सो दिस इज द पीक लोड, मीन्स प्लांट कैपेसिटी शुड बी such that it should be able to supply this peak load. So the deciding factor for the capacity of the this power plant will be the peak load. Okay, so I can write here thus capacity of power plant will be guided by the peak load. ओके, तो अब हमें कितना, किस कैपेसिटी का प्लांट बनाना है, वो किस चीज़ पे वो क्या डिसाइड करेगा? वो डिसाइड करेगा हमारा पीक लोड कितना है. रिमेंबर दिस इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. ठीक है, कैपेसिटी ऑफ द पावर प्लांट इट विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय द पीक लोड. आपका जितना ज़्यादा पीक लोड होगा, आपका उतना ज़्यादा पावर प्लांट का कैपेसिटी रखना पड़ेगा अकॉर्डिंगली. ओके, एंड आई विल से एंड एवरेज कंजम्पशन or average load I will write it like and average load will give the energy consumption. Okay. You know what is average load? Suppose I'm saying means for 6 hours the load was 2 megawatt, then for the next 6 hours the load was 3 megawatt, and for the next 6 it was 4, and for the next 6 it was on this 5. So what you will do, you will take the average of the load divided by 24 hours. Okay, so this will give you the average load multiplied by the time, it will give the energy consumption. So I'm saying average load multiplied by the time will give you the energy consumption. Okay, so this capacity will be decided by the peak load, and average load will give us the energy consumption, how much energy is consumed by the load. Okay, that is connected to a power plant. So here, here I was saying, I again need this curve here. So this peak load I am saying it occurs for a very small duration of time. Okay, and this base load it remains there for the whole duration. So average load will be somewhere, it will be more than the base load, but very less than the peak load. If you will take the average of this curve, you will take the average load of this curve. So I am saying the average load will be more than the base load, but it will be lesser than the peak load always. Okay. So I'm saying that since we have seen a typical load curve with peak load and its time of occurrence, so let us define one term which is called as load factor. Load factor I have also explained to you, but it was a very random definition or raw definition. So let us define load factor clearly here. What is load factor? Load factor is nothing but the average load divided by the maximum or peak load. Maximum or peak load. So I will take the help of this curve here. So what will be the average load? Average load will be more than the base load, but it will be lesser than the peak load always. Okay. And what will be the okay, take average load. I'm saying average load will be more than the base load and lesser than the peak load. It is like, suppose I am saying that there are 3 friends. Okay, one friend, the percentage of one friend it is 100%. The percentage of second friend, attendance percentage of the second friend is 90, and the third is 80. So what is the peak? Who is getting maximum? One friend, that is 100%. And what is the minimum? That is base. Out of 3, the base is 80%. Okay, means जो सबकी है. So average, what will be the average? It will be 100 plus 90 plus 80 divided by 3. So this way you will calculate the average percentage. So average will be always more than the base but smaller than the peak. So if I am saying load factor is nothing but average load divided by the maximum or peak load, now this average load is always less than the peak load. So I will say that this load factor is always less than 1. Always less than 1. Okay. And this average load, I'm saying average load, what will it give? It will give us the energy consumption. And what will this peak load give us? Peak load will give us the, means with this peak load will decide the plant capacity. Okay, because I said even if this peak load it occurs for a small duration of time, it is the responsibility of the this supplier to supply this peak load, to supply power. Okay, to supply this peak load power. So I'm saying the capacity of the plant, it will be decided by the peak load. Okay, so I am saying that load factor will be always less than unity. Okay, suppose somehow I am saying that average load and peak load, they are equal. Okay, if I am saying if average and peak load are equal, then what will happen? Then load factor will be equal to unity 1. Okay, So if it is a unity, what will be the curve will be like, this is time, this is my load, means I'm saying average load and peak load is maximum, so it will be like this, means this is peak and it will remain there from 0 to whatever time you are taking. Suppose you are taking 24 hours, 0 hours, it will be like this. So it will be a step function then. When average load and peak load are equal, or when load factor is equal to unity, then it will be the curve between the load and time, it will be a step function. Okay, but normally the load factor is taken between, normally load factor is taken between 0.6 to 0.8, because it is possible to keep the load constant throughout the day? No, not possible. Okay, that is why means load factor can never be unity. So normally the range for the load factor is 0.6 to 0.8. Please remember this range. These questions are asked in Vivas. So what is the normal range of load factor? Students know what is load factor. They know load factor, when load factor can be unity, though it cannot be equal to unity, but they don't know the range, because these type of questions, they are required. If you are someone is hiring you in some electrical company, he should know what is the means, he wants that the students should know what is the average load factor. Okay, got it. So our aim, what is our aim? Our aim is to keep the average load and the peak load equal. Okay, means our aim is to keep the load factor equal to 1, because when the load factor will be equal to 1, we will be able to run our plant at its maximum capacity, maximum installed capacity. Because I am saying that I have designed my plant corresponding to what? Corresponding to this, means I have designed my plant corresponding to a capacity equal to its peak load. So if I am saying that load factor is not equal to 1, means average load and peak load, they are not equal, means my if I will take the average, I am saying that my plant is supplying power somewhere like this here. So this much power it is wasted, means my plant, it can generate more power, but it is not generating more power. It has the capacity to generate, but it is not generating because the demand is less. Okay, so what if we are saying that the demand is more, such that the system always operate at its peak load? In that case, my plant is utilized to its full capacity. Okay, so it will improve the utilization of the plant. So if I'm saying, if load factor is equal to 1, if load factor is equal to 1 or unity, so which mean we will be able to use installed capacity to maximum. Suppose we are saying that the average load, I will again explain. Suppose I am saying that average load is 80 megawatt and the peak load is 110 megawatt. So I will design my plant corresponding to what? Plant capacity corresponding to, I will install the plant with a capacity equal to 110 megawatt. But if it's saying that the average is 80, okay, so this 110 minus 80, 30 megawatt, means my plant can still generate 30 megawatt more, but it is not generating 30 more, it is generating 80 instead of 110. So this 30 megawatt which can be generated, it is lost, it is underutilized, means my plant is not fully utilized. So that is why we are saying, if load factor will be equal to unity, means average load is equal to peak load, okay, then we will be able to install the capacity to maximum. Got it? If there is any problem corresponding to this load factor, this average load, peak load, plant capacity, you can call me. Okay, feel free to call me, you have my number. So next important term is diversity factor. Diversity factor. So what does diversity factor means? Diversity factor is nothing but the ratio of summation of individual maximum demand divided by the maximum load on system. Okay. What do you mean by the summation of individual maximum demands? Suppose that I am sitting in my room and I am preparing this lecture. So I am seeing that okay, the temperature is, I think right now feasible, means right now good. Okay, and the sunlight is available. Okay, plenty of sunlight is available. So what I have to do, I don't have to turn on this my all my lights, and I don't have to turn on my this heating equipment. So right now I have three lights in my room, one fan and one blower. Okay, one heating equipment. So what I am turning on right now? Right now I am turning on. So I am saying what I have here in my room. I have three lights, one heating equipment, and one fan. Okay. So I am saying that the sunlight is good and the temperature is right now means pleasant. What I am doing, instead of three lights, I have three lights, but how many lights I am turning on? Only one light. One light on, heating equipment is off, and fan is off because it is winter, so we don't need this fans. So what was the sum of individual maximum demands? So three lights, one heating fan, one heating equipment, and one fan. So this was my, means three lights plus one heating equipment plus one fan. Okay, if I will take the addition of their power rating, it will give me individual maximum demands, summation of light plus summation of plus heating load plus fan, it will is nothing but individual maximum demands. But how much I am actually using right now? One light only, rest of the lights I am keeping off, heating equipment is off, fan is off. Okay, so I am saying this is individual maximum demands, their summation, and this is actually maximum load on the system. Actual maximum load is only one light. Okay, so what will be this diversity factor? Diversity factor will be always less than unity. So I will write diversity factor will be always less than unity 1. Sorry, always more than unity, always more, because numerator is sum of individual maximum demands, which is this, which is bigger, and what is the actual on? Actual is this only. Okay, so I am saying always more than unity. So I am saying diversity factor is always greater than unity. So I think if you will see in your classroom when I was teaching you, there were I think 7 fans and I think 8 lights. So how many lights we were turning on? One or two lights we were turning on, and all the fans was off. So what was the sum of individual maximum demands? The load of the 7 fans plus the load of the 8 light. It was individual maximum demands, their summation. And what was the maximum load on the system which were turning on at that time? It was one or two lights only. Okay, obviously this part was more than the this part, so diversity factor will be greater than 1. So why diversity factor will be greater than 1? Because we are not going to have all the maximum demands on all the time, because we are not going to have all the maximum demands on all the time. सपोज आपके घर का अगर देखा जाए, आप सारे इक्विपमेंट्स आपके घर में अगर मैं मिलाऊं, किसी के घर में आप देखिएगा आपके घर में कितने बल्ब हैं, कितने फैन हैं, कितने गीजर्स, हीटर्स, सब मिला के कितने हैं। आप सारा थोड़ा ना ऑन रखते हैं हर टाइम पे। ओके, अगर आप सारा ऑन नहीं रखते तो जो टोटल है वो आ गया ये इंडिविजुअल मैक्सिमम डिमांड, जो आपके घर में सारे इक्विपमेंट्स हैं, सारों का लोड मिला के, उनमें से कितने ऑन रखते हैं वो ये आ गया डिनोमिनेटर। Okay, so obviously this numerator will be more than denominator always, so diversity factor will be greater than 1, because I am saying because we are not going to have all the maximum demands on all the time. Okay, if I am saying if diversity factor is higher, better the system is. I am saying higher diversity factor means, higher diversity factor से क्या पता चलेगा? means we are conserving energy. ओके, वी आर कंजर्विंग एनर्जी। सपोज अगर आपकी क्लास में हम सारी लाइट्स ऑन रख लेते, ज़रूरत कितनी की थी, 1 या 2 लाइट्स थी, मुझे लगता नहीं 1 या 2 की भी थी, बट अगर आप 8 लाइट ऑन कर रहे हैं तो उससे क्या हो रहा है, यू आर वेस्टिंग एनर्जी। You don't need to turn on, but still you are turning on. What are you doing? Means you are wasting. You are dumping that power. Okay, you are dumping that power. So what we are doing, if demand diversity factor is higher, that means we are only using the useful load. Useful load. So by this what we are doing? We are actually conserving the energy. Conserving the energy is very important. Why it is very important? Suppose you know that in our state the losses, suppose I am saying minimum 50%. Few I think 4 to 5 years back it was I think 65 to 75%. So maybe they have improved a bit. I am saying still it will not be less than 50%. Okay, so I'm saying the losses are 50%. And suppose that you are using an equipment at your home. Okay, you are using an equipment and you are consuming 1 unit only. Okay, you are consuming 1 unit and you are paying for this 1 unit. अब जो 1 यूनिट का पावर आपको आ रहा है कहाँ से आ रहा है, आपको पावर सिस्टम से आ रहा है, ग्रिड से आ रहा है, ठीक है ना। अब जो लॉसेज हमारे सिस्टम में वो कितने हैं, 50%। तो मीन्स 1 यूनिट का पावर आप तक सप्लाई करने के लिए जो आपका मीटर रीड करेगा कि 1 यूनिट यू हैव कंज्यूम्ड, उसके लिए ग्रिड से कितना सप्लाई हुआ होगा, उसके लिए सिस्टम ने 2 यूनिट सप्लाई किया था। और 2 यूनिट सप्लाई किए ग्रिड ने, तो उसमें से लॉसेस 50% हुए। मीन्स 1 यूनिट जो था लॉस्ट हुआ, 1 यूनिट वॉज लॉस्ट because of the losses and 1 unit ultimately reaches to the consumer. Okay, so अगर आप सिर्फ useful load, if you are only using the useful load, you are not turning all the load, all the maximum demands on all the time. Okay, you are only using the useful load. What you are doing, you are saving some of the units. Okay, if you are saving some of the units, equal number of units are saved because losses will reduce. अगर आप suppose 10 आपका 10 किलोवाट का लोड है घर में, okay, but you are only using 5 kilowatt. How much units are you are saving? You are saving 5 units you are saying, but you are not actually saving 5, you are saving 10 units. 5 units तो आपने कम कर दिया, अपने जो लोड आपने ऑन नहीं किया, मगर जो 5 यूनिट्स लॉस्ट होते इसको सप्लाई करने के लिए वो भी बच गए, तो 10 किलोवाट सेव हुआ। सो 10 किलोवाट आवर, ठीक है, बिकॉज ऑफ द लॉसेज एज वेल। सो means what should be our aim? Our aim is that diversity factor should be high. Okay, diversity factor should be high. So how can we make our diversity factor high? So how to achieve, the topic is how to achieve higher diversity factor. Okay, so I will say there are 5 rules. 5 rules for increasing, though they are more management based as compared to the technical rules, but there are 5 rules. Okay. So I think I should stop here because I have already made a lecture of 38 minutes and it was continuous, means I was continuously speaking. So if अगर क्लास में पढ़ाया जाता तो मुझे लगता है ये शायद 55 मिनट्स या 60 मिनट्स का लेक्चर हो गया होता। I think I should stop here. So in the next lecture I will tell you how to achieve higher diversity factor and some other terms related to this power system. Okay, and maybe if the time allows, I will solve 1 or 2 numericals as well. Okay, so thank you. Please watch this lecture very carefully because mathematical problems will be formulated based on these problems, today's lecture, that is load factor and diversity factor. And in case you have any doubt, feel to call me, but in between the working hours only. Okay, and not on holidays. Thank you very much.